Welcome to Shepherd's Coffee Talk. You know, many of us are trying to reinvent ourselves. You know, we've hit that 50-year mark and maybe we've lost a job or we're changing jobs. Things have happened in our life, and we want to talk to you about how this happens and how you can adjust to it.
Our guest is Natalie Tommy. She is, for anybody in the Ottawa region, the Eastern Ontario area, you know of Tommy and Lefebvre, the family business that provided us with sporting gear and sporting clothing for many, many years. Natalie was part of that story too, and you came up through the ranks, let's say, with your dad and his brother, I believe, who founded Tommy and Lefebvre, and you rose to the top. And I wanted to just get a little bit of an idea for folks watching, because people know of Tommy and Lefebvre, they know the family story, but can you talk a little bit about what it was like doing business with your family? Like here, true secrets on TV.
Yeah, exactly.
And lots of men.
Yes,
and lots
tons
of men.
Yeah. I think the toughest part is trying to make decisions and being allowed to have those failures or foibles and not be so upset about it all the time, because you're really letting your family down. Like that's how you originally start to feel about it, until you actually get your legs underneath you. So I found that tough. I think it sort of hits you hard at the beginning, and then as you start to get into it, you start to become your own person. You're less susceptible to it, but.
Right, it shapes you though. It
yes.
shapes you.
Oh yes.
And does it take you back to family gatherings too?
Oh, for sure.
I mean, does it sort of mix the work and play?
Oh
and
yeah,
family
retail
life?
was part of our life 24/7. If we weren't talking about it, we were talking about the weather, and by the end it was, well, listen, we'd really love it if it snowed on a Wednesday and not on a Thursday, because that'll interrupt the flow, and the customers are going to be skiing, and if there's too much snow, they don't come in. It's never perfect in retail. It's never a perfect setting. You can have the perfect buy, but it's never easy. But you learn a lot, and you make some amazing connections with people. And I think that's part of why you continually go back to it.
So how many years was Tommy and Lefebvre open?
55.
55 years.
So 55 years old, literally within almost the day is when we sold to Sporting Life.
So that in itself was a big story.
Yes.
Right.
Wow. I mean, Sporting Life, which was this huge conglomerate in Toronto, bought Tommy Lefebvre out.
Yes.
And then your journey continued.
Yeah, and my journey continued. So I spent 2 years at Sporting Life in Toronto in head office, being part of a cluster of buyers and sort of advising on what we had done well within Ottawa. And their business was so completely different than ours. I knew it wasn't going to be a fit. And they're amazing people. We'd known them for 30 years, but I knew for me, I had to think about doing something else. And
I think the thing is, and Marlene, you'll agree with this, and it's certainly true in the business that I came up in through broadcasting, it's all about relationship, isn't it? With your customers in retail, you care about the people who are coming into your store so much. You want to please them, you want to provide what they want without them even really knowing what they want. And so when you've got that skill set, probably you don't realize how powerful it is, because sales is all about relationship, period, really. So Natalie's got this vast experience, and then she's done her 2 years with Sporting Life, and then what? What do you do?
yeah, so I took a few weeks off, and I got a call from Kevin, my husband, who's president of Nautical Lands Group, and Kirk Opner, and Kirk said, I'd really like you to come in, and Kevin really wanted me to start doing the marketing, and I thought, it's adult lifestyle communities. Like, what do I possibly have to offer there? How am I going to adapt my skill set in marketing and relationships and all of that and bring it forward? And honestly, it's been probably the most fulfilling job I've ever had. I realized something in myself through, just being self-aware that helping people and connecting with people is really what I was missing for the years that I left Tommy and Lefebvre. So I'm grateful for the fact that I went to Toronto and I actually separated myself from my original job. And now, I completely love it. Like, to think that I can make a difference in somebody's life, or our company can make a difference in somebody's life, and working with Kathy to help develop our own language and our own lifestyle for adults 55 plus, because most of them are way too young to live where
Exactly.
they're
I
living.
was going to say, I mean, it's scary with seniors.
Yeah.
You don't want to say that, but what are people 55 plus looking for now?
Well, I mean, look at us. I mean, honestly, we're prime examples of people that come to talk to us. Our average age is in the mid 60s. They're walking through the door, and when we start talking to them about freedom living and the choices that they have, and they can go down to the bar at night, and they've got a full kitchen, and they can park their cars underground, and a concierge, you know, they start thinking about the most
like a
amazing
hotel.
vacation they've ever had, and
yes.
we say, well, why shouldn't you? You don't need to take a vacation from your
Yes.
life. Like,
Yeah.
let's make it happen. So they're looking for what we want. They want freedom, they want comfort, they want tons of choice. I mean, in our world, we say, you know, nothing says retirement living like complete dependency on your activities are planned, your meals are planned. We don't believe in that.
Well, and the thing is that we've been given in a very kind of unconscious way this idea that getting old is a problem, it's a curse, it's almost like a punishment. We want to be feeling young and youthful for the rest of our days. Well, the body ages, we can't change that, but it's what goes on up here that we can shift. And that's really what I feel Natalie has been really good at, is putting out this mindset, educating people that you really are as young as you feel, and you should be treated with respect, and you should have the freedom you want to have. This is a new concept, because now we have to disrupt that idea that we were given, Marlene, that, you know, our grandparents lived through when they retired, sat in the rocking chair on the porch and waited for death, basically. We're not waiting for death. We're reinventing ourselves, as Natalie's done, as I've done. We're just, as you're doing, staying current with all the new ideas that are out there. So when you think youthfully, when you act youthfully, when you dress like you care about yourself, it gives a different vibe. And that's really what I think Natalie's all about, and what the Wellings, the property that she's working with, that I'm working with her on, really wants to share and inspire people.
Yeah, like we really sort of have done a lot of research and continue to do research on what it means and what people need to live well. So we know at the fundamental core, you need to be connected in some way, whether it's with people or your animals or the earth or whatever it happens. But for the most part, you need a connection with people to keep you moving and to keep you in a healthy state of mind. We know that you need to be happy, and you need to be seen, heard, and
Valued.
appreciated and valued. And and I thank Kathy for that, because she brought those words very succinctly to a conversation we were having. But it's really something that we feel we will continue to offer at the Wellings, and whether or not people realize it, being part of that environment and being together in that with other people, they will stay youthful and curious and interested in life. And really, that's what we're after.
We were at an event recently at a picnic kind of a thing, and one woman was saying that she knows people who have downsized from their home, purchased a condominium with much less square footage than they had in their home, put their good china in storage, because what do you need it day to day? But you can't set your table. Well, you probably don't even have room for your table. So we're kind of, what the Wellings is doing is skipping that step and giving you that true freedom of just not being attached to all your things, but being interested in life. So you're unfettered in a way, because when you have your family, you're building and you're gathering and all of that, and at some point you start going the other way. And there's nothing wrong with that. You just want to enjoy every phase. I think that's the point of it.
Well, there's more and more of these types of living arrangements that are developing right across Canada and the States. So you can see there's a huge demand for that. So is it usually, you said mid 60s?
Yeah, like we know that if we that's the average age of people living at the Wellings. But we say 55 plus, because we know if we can have the conversations with people in their 50s, we can start to shift their mindset to the idea that changing where you live doesn't necessarily mean you're taking a step back in your lifestyle. And so we're trying to change the conversation now. And we're becoming a national brand. We're going to have locations right across the country within the next 5 years. We have about 5 right now that are on top of Stittsville that we haven't announced yet, but they are going to be across the country, because we believe it's the next thing. We believe that in order for people to really live well, they need to have those conversations.
Enough of this being isolated. This is the big problem I find, especially with women as they age. Spouse passes away, perhaps. Their friends pass away or move away to be with their families. They become more and more isolated. Their world gets smaller and smaller. They're lonely, which is an epidemic we have right now in our society. We don't want that. We want people to feel connected, to feel like they matter. Like, just because you have a certain age behind your name doesn't make any difference. Who are you is what we really want to care about. And that's true when people come to Shepherd's. When people come to my talks, same thing. I don't care what your age is. People don't care what my age is or what yours is. Who are you? That's what really matters. So Natalie, in the process of really reinventing yourself, because that takes a lot of courage, though, to step up and say, okay,
I'm in.
I'll give this thing a try. I don't know what I'm talking about, but you do know what you're talking about, and you recognized, what I love is you recognized the skill set that you developed all those years is really the skill set you needed to do this too.
Yeah, and I found that, really it was Kirk and Kevin that recognized in me that I could do this, right? So sometimes you need, and they just happen to be men, which is fantastic. Because honestly, I don't know what it's like to work with strong women, except for Kathy.
Good point. Yeah, good point.
I've never
always worked
had
with
that.
men.
I've always worked with men.
Yeah.
So that's my baseline. But what was fantastic is when you know that you've got people behind you that literally say, do what you need to do. Like, if you need to go learn about so-and-so, go do it. If you need to take time to read more, because in retail, I mean, honestly, I can't even tell you the last time I sat down and just read a book on, merchandising or what. It's truth, but it's death by fire kind of thing. Let's go. You're open
24/7.
So no, but I've had time to do that. I've had time to do some research. I've had time to really work and focus on it, and because I have truly one singular job, although I'm on the design team, but really my focus is on the actual development of the Wellings brand. That's honestly been phenomenal.
Well, it looks good on you. I gotta say, it looks
and
really
it's
good.
great that you were able to transition from one field to another and take the skill set with you and find a place that you're comfortable and people want you there, right?
Well, it's meaningful work, right? And that's the thing we want to find is sometimes we take a job when we're young because we've got to keep the lights on and raise our family and provide and all of that. That's our priority. At some point, though, you got to look inside and ask yourself, what floats my boat? What makes me happy? What lights me up? And that's your opportunity to really investigate that and then find a way, whether it's volunteering or just doing mentoring, not for money, or it is a job. It doesn't matter. Find something that will fill you up, and that will make you feel wealthy and successful.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Very
Cheers to
inspiring.
you.
Thank you for joining us,
Thank
Natalie.
you. It's my pleasure.
We'll see you next Sunday for Shepherd's Coffee Talk.